segment, okay? A little bit of an icebreaker. So listen carefully and pick one of the options with each question, okay? Night in or night out?
Night in.
Night in?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it. That's the one.
Let's go.
What is your most used emoji?
I can check.
Oh, here we go. We're getting a verified answer.
Heart.
Oh, ha! Isn't that nice? That's it.
Yeah. Ooh, very sweet. Well, I just got engaged.
You did
So,
indeed.
A lot of hearts these days.
I'm going to interrupt that just to say your dream honeymoon destination. Speaking of that marriage and that love heart emoji.
Yeah. Just a nice warm beach somewhere is enough for us. So we like going to the beach when we can.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
a nice change for the tennis court. Okay, we'll get back into this. So Tim Tam, Milo, or Vegemite. So 3 Aussie items
What are the
of
first
food.
two?
So Tim Tam, it's a chocolate biscuit in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Milo, it's a chocolate stir-through drink that you
I
add
think-
milk to.
yeah,
or
the
Vegemite.
first.
The first one. Okay, Tim Tam.
Tim
Yeah,
Tam,
of
yeah,
course. Okay, let's get into some tennis ones.
Yeah.
Cross court or down the line?
Cross.
Serve or underarm serve?
So,
Serve, very good. Tight strings or loose strings? This is for the tennis tech guys out there that like to know your setup.
yeah, I'm more on the tight side, so I'll go with tight strings.
Very good. And what tension, just for
I
reference?
do
It varies?
56 pounds.
Wow,
My
so it's
tension.
very tight.
Pretty
What's the
tight.
control? Okay. Kangaroo or koala?
Koala.
Base grip or over grip?
Overgrip.
Hard court or grass court? Because I know you like clay, so I thought I'd give you the 2 other options.
I'll go for grass then. Why not?
Okay. And tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea? Oh, very good. What's your favourite tea?
Earl Grey, English
Earl Grey?
breakfast, yeah.
Okay. Drive or fly?
Drive.
Very good. Road trip. Okay. Samsonite Proxus, lime or silver?
Lime.
Lime. That's your colour.
Surrounded
That's
by
your
lime.
colour.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're here in beautiful Melbourne.
Yeah.
What is your favourite thing about Melbourne, and what do you enjoy doing most here?
Well, Melbourne Park is fantastic where we play. I mean, it's such a beautiful site, arena, beautiful court. So that's kind of why we're here now to play tennis. But,
And off the court?
yeah, I went to the zoo today.
Oh, the zoo. Very cool.
We got great zoos in Australia, and I
And
got to
what's
see.
what's your favourite animal?
Well, today we saw cheetah, lion, rhino, koala. I think the koala is very special because you only found it here, and it's a very peaceful animal.
And is
I
it
like it, yeah.
very relaxed and
Yeah.
chilled? That's it. Okay, so you're on the road so much throughout the year. Do you have any travel essentials that just have to come with you in your suitcase?
I have what do you call it? Like something you have for breakfast. You spill on bread, like a Norwegian thing that I typically bring because
So it's like a spread?
yeah, it's like a spread. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like a Norwegian Vegemite.
Oh, very
So,
good.
yeah,
That's
it's,
good. So you're bringing a taste of home with you when you're overseas.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of travelling, you do so much of it throughout the year as well. Having your dad in your team,
Yeah.
how nice and what does that bring to your team atmosphere when you're travelling so much?
Well, it's nice to feel like feels way closer to home, but it can be also challenging every now and then. I mean, you don't need your father around every single day, of the whole year. So we need our breaks as well and space apart from each other. But it works out really well for us. I know that he always has my best interest when I'm out on court and general in life. So I trust him fully, and it's been a good relationship as, of course, father-son, but also coach-player, and we get it to go pretty good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Having that support system is so important when you're
Yeah.
on the road.
Definitely.
Okay, so speaking of your daily routines,
Yeah.
I'd like you to take us through what your daily routine would be on an off day, a practice day, compared to a match day. What changes?
Well, maybe you practice. Some days you practice twice, and I think I don't know. Honestly, the thing is like you want to. What you do in practice is what you want to do in a match. So in terms of what you do, it's not that different. when it's an official match, you get a little bit more nervous. You maybe think about it a little bit more. On the practice day, you're a bit more relaxed, maybe a little bit more playful. While on the match day, it's just all business, kind of from morning to whenever the match is done in the evening. So I think, but I eat not like extremely strictly, but I always eat the same before a match. So
That was actually my next question.
Yeah.
I was going to say, before a match, what is the food that fuels world number 6 Casper Ruud?
for me, it's just a lot of rice, some olive oil, salt, and chicken, which is quite boring, but it works. Not too much sauce to disturb your stomach when you're out there, and some carbohydrates, some protein to get you going and have your energy up for potentially 5 hours if you have to. So it works well. I've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. It gets a little boring after some days, but it's okay. It works. So whatever works, you have to stick with it.
That's exactly right. You
Yeah.
can't change a winning formula.
Yeah, no.
And so, if you were 9 years old right now, this is a fan submission. We asked for a few questions from fans
Yep.
of you on Instagram. A 9-year-old girl asked, what advice would you give to yourself looking back at 9-year-old Casper Ruud about becoming a tennis player?
Yeah, I think patience is kind of key, and finding the right balance between fun on one side and hard work on the other. If you only have fun on court and never really work hard, you're probably not going to make it into the pro level. But if you only do the hard work and never enjoy the time on court, you're going to be tired of tennis within a couple of years. So there needs to be a good balance, and if you can find the balance, you have all the opportunities in the world.
And just on that note, when you first started playing, when was that? And when was it you realised that you could make a career out of this, that you could be a professional tennis player?
Well, I think I started before. I've seen pictures of myself playing that I can't even remember myself. So I guess when I was 3-4 years old, my father had a mini tennis court in the backyard, and he would take me there and play around. But when I started primary school, I started a little bit more serious, a couple times a week. But I think I just love. I have a pretty competitive mind, no matter if it's tennis, quiz, board games, you name it. I'm pretty competitive always, and if you have that competitive mind, you can probably bring it to many different sports. But tennis was the one that I kind of chose, the one I love the most to do. I also did football or soccer, and did a little bit of golf and some ice hockey in the winter. So I did a lot of things, but tennis for me was the most fun one, and where I felt like I was better at the same time. So it was an easy choice.
Okay, and just on that note, you mentioned the competitiveness there that fuels you,
Yeah.
but what motivates you most in the world? What motivates Casper Ruud?
I think now that I get a year older, every year that goes by, I get older and older, and I think just tournament titles is something that is really motivating. It's fun to achieve. Winning tournaments on the tour, that's kind of one of the best feelings in the world. And of course, this year I hope I can maybe win a tournament that I haven't won before, maybe, or kind of like a bigger tournament that I haven't won. I never won a Masters 1000, I never won a Grand Slam, but those are the kind of the biggest tournaments that we have that I would love to one day maybe win. But yeah, that's the most motivating, to achieve good things on the court and becoming a better player and trying to win tournaments.
That's fantastic. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
And just finally, when you do have those tough weeks on tour, because as we know, there's a new tennis tournament every week, you're constantly on the go with your Samsonite suitcases.
Yeah.
So how do you bounce back? What strategies do you use when you do have one bad week and you need to bounce back immediately for the next tournament?
Well, I think sometimes you can use your losses in a good way. I'm pretty good, I think, at motivating myself after a tough loss, because I feel like if I have a bad loss or a tough loss, there's a lot of things I can improve for next week. Obviously, maybe 5, 6, 8 is not necessarily always enough, but at least you can have a good feeling on court and try to work on some specific things that didn't work out in the match that you just lost. So, yeah, it is kind of tough to find motivation every day, day in, day out. But so far, I've been able to keep it up. But I think the day I will lose that motivation, it will be maybe time to say goodbye. But hopefully, that's many years until.
And obviously you've looked up to a few idols of the game that have recently retired, such as Rafael Nadal in particular.
Yep.
What sort of influence did he have on making you who you are today and that competitive mindset that you mentioned? I'm sure that was inspiration.
Great question.
Yeah, it is. I mean, competitive mindset was maybe there already from a very young age for me, but I think like the thing that sparked my career or the dream of one day becoming a tennis player was when I watched Rafa win his first Grand Slam on TV. I think I was 6 years old. He won Roland Garros at 19 maybe. And I was thinking, you know, back then I didn't realize what being a player actually meant. But I just saw a guy play well on TV and I said, you know, I want to play tennis on TV one day. That's kind of where it all started for me. And from then I always enjoyed watching him because he was the first memory I have of watching anyone on tennis or on TV playing tennis. So it was kind of easy for me to favorize him. And I, you know, like the way he played, sleeveless, playing left-handed, bandana, and he would play some crazy shots almost every single match. So very cool guy to watch. So obviously all my childhood, and then as I grew older, realized how incredible both his, Roger, and of course Novak's career have been. It just kind of blew my mind. It's difficult to describe, but how good they have been and what they've done for the sport. But it was always, since I was young, just my kind of childhood memory was cheering for Rafa. So I always had him as an idol, and I think without him, maybe I would still become a professional tennis player, but I wouldn't maybe think that early at that age that I want to be a tennis player one day if I didn't watch him that particular day. Who knows? Maybe the next day I would have watched football, I would have watched, I don't know, something else and went for that instead. So yeah, it's probably had a big influence.
Yeah, absolutely. So just last question. I'd like to know, you've travelled to so many places in the world. What has been your favourite travel destination? And a follow on, is there one place you haven't been to that you'd like to wheel your beautiful suitcase to in the future?
Yeah, there are plenty of places I haven't been. I mean, when I come down here to Australia, which I love being in, I always think about it would be nice to explore like this country, New Zealand, maybe even Fiji one day, just to kind of see part of the world that I would probably never see otherwise. I just said it earlier, like when I started playing tennis, I never envisioned myself, you know, traveling to the other side of the world, promoting, you know, the best suitcases in the world.
Absolutely, sounds fun.
Having the opportunity to travel that many places and meet a lot of new people is really fun and exciting. And I think one day I will like to stay in Australia after the Australian Open for maybe some weeks, explore the country and the culture, and maybe New Zealand. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, yes, yeah.
New Zealand is the place to go. That's on my bucket list, and of course, like when you're down here, why not just, you know, go to Fiji, Samoa, Hawaii, all these places that you would never go to otherwise. So one day I'll do a big round trip.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, when you're in Australia, we're so far away from Europe. It's a nice change of scenery, and there's so much to do. So, yep. So we're here at the Samsonite activation at David Jones Burke Street. World number 6, Casper Ruud has joined us here today. We've got a huge crowd in attendance. I hope you've all enjoyed our chat. Just a little note as well. We have the new shop-in-shop in David Jones, level 6 on Burke Street. So head up to level 6 and check that out to check out these amazing Samsonite suitcases. Thank you so much to Casper Ruud for your time. It's been so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
After so much talk, he deserves a water.
Thank you.